I didn't move to New York for peace. I moved here because I had no choice. And the cheapest room I found came with rules I didn't understand until it was too late. The first thing I noticed was how quiet the room was. Not New York quiet, not the kind you brag about while sirens still leak in at 3 a.m. This was padded quiet. Sound died before it reached me. I stood in the doorway with my duffel bag and felt my brain trying to sell me safety like it was on discount. The listing had screamed, "Quiet room, respectful roommate, no drama." The rent was low enough to feel like a miracle and high enough to scare me. Cal met me at the door in a gray hoodie and a soft smile. "Shoes off," he said. "I'm weird about street dirt." He wasn't ugly or handsome, just blank friendly. A face you forget in a crowd. Voice always low, like he never wanted to disturb the air. He showed me my room, opened the window, and nodded toward the street. Outside, the city moved. Traffic, people, shouting. Inside, it was like someone hit mute. "It helps people sleep," he said. That night, I ate cold noodles, unpacked the minimum, and listened. No neighbors, no footsteps, no TV through the walls. Just quiet. And underneath it, a steady hum, like an exhaust fan buried in the building's bones. The next morning, there was a note on the counter in neat, rounded handwriting. "Welcome. Coffee filters under sink. Please keep the door locked." Cal sat at the table with his laptop open, not typing, just staring. "You sleep okay?" he asked. "Yeah, it's really quiet." He smiled. People don't realize how loud their lives are until it stops. On the third day, I came back with groceries and found my bedroom door cracked open. I knew I'd shut it. I always checked twice. I stood there with plastic handles biting my fingers and stared at the gap like it was a mouth. Inside, nothing looked disturbed. My cash was still in the drawer, my laptop still on the desk. But my phone charger, looped the way I always looped it, was lying straight, careless, like someone had unplugged it and plugged it back without thinking. That night, I heard a slow scrape, metal on metal, somewhere outside my room. It stopped the second I focused on it. Later, faint whispering through the wall. Not words, just breath close enough to make my skin tighten. The next morning, Cal held up my keys. "You dropped these," he said. "I didn't." "In the hall," he said, "right outside your door." I hadn't been in the hall, not without my keys. He shrugged. "Old building, things happen." He walked away humming, off-key, like a kid pretending not to be nervous. I told myself to stop spiraling. Then I found the vent. It was near the baseboard, painted over too many times. One screw was stripped like it had been turned and turned again. I stared at it, embarrassed by my own suspicion. Then I unscrewed it anyway. Dust puffed out, gray and ancient. A smell rolled from the duct, old sweat, metal, and something sweet gone bad. It hit the back of my throat like a warning. Tucked deep inside was a Ziploc bag. It was heavier than plastic should be. The contents shifted with a soft clack. Teeth. A handful. Molars, incisors, some with dark roots still attached. Yellowed, stained, uneven. Collected, not cherished. 2 Polaroids were pressed under them. The first was a blurry shot of my hallway, taken from behind someone's shoulder. On the white border, in Cal's neat handwriting, "Too loud." The second Polaroid was a close-up of a mouth, lips parted, gums raw, several teeth missing, bruising around the corners like fingerprints. On its border, "Quiet now." My hands shook so hard the bag crackled. At the bottom was a small brass key with 4 stamped digits. I put everything back exactly as I found it, screwed the vent on tight, sat on my bed and listened to the hum like it was listening back. That night I sat fully dressed with my shoes on, phone charged, keys in my pocket. Cal came home and the apartment filled with lemon cleaner, sharp enough to sting. A few minutes later, he knocked. I opened the door a crack. He held a plate of pasta like an offering. "I made extra," he said. "You want some?" "No," I said too fast. His smile stayed. "You look pale." "Tired." He tilted his head, listening. "Did something happen today?" "No." He watched me for a beat too long, then, "Okay, remember to lock up." After midnight, the scrape returned, slow, deliberate. Then tap, tap, tap on the wall. A pattern. 3 taps, 2 taps, 3 again. Like a code, like a test. Then a breath against my door, steady inhale through the nose, smelling the air under the crack. A whisper right through the wood. "Too loud," Cal said, almost tender. I didn't move until morning. When Cal left, I pocketed the brass key and went down to the basement. The basement door was unlocked. The stairwell smelled like damp concrete and detergent with that metallic penny smell underneath. The lights flickered like they didn't want to see what was down there. A row of metal lockers sat in the wall. Most were rusted, numbers scratched out. One looked cleaner, digits stamped sharp, the same 4 on my key. It turned too easily. Inside was a plastic bin with a snapped lid. The smell that rose was sour rot mixed with chemical cleaner. Neatly folded clothes lay inside, women's clothes, washed and arranged like someone was building a body out of fabric. On top, Polaroids, rubber banded. The first photo showed a woman on a subway platform looking at her phone. The angle was hidden, hungry. The next showed her walking. The next, entering a building. On the borders, lost, alone, loud. I flipped. Different faces, different days, everyone photographed from behind, from corners, unaware. Then the close-ups, mouths, bruises, missing teeth. Under the clothes was a notebook filled with lists, times, routes, descriptions. Girl with red bag, 7:15 a.m., stops looking up. Man with /gold watch, always on call, never hears me. New roommate, check door, test quiet. My vision tunneled on that last line. A page near the back was written heavier, pressed hard. The city is too loud. I fix it. I slammed the bin shut, closed the locker, and ran upstairs with the hum chasing my ears. At the apartment door, my key wouldn't turn. The deadbolt was thrown from inside. The door opened. Cal stood there in his gray hoodie, smiling like he'd been waiting. "Basement's damp," he said softly. "You'll bring up mold." His eyes dropped to my pocket where the key made a small bump. "I told you," he said, calm as ever. "No drama." I turned and ran. He didn't chase me. He just called after me, gentle as a reminder. "Lock the door," he said. "Keep it quiet." I hit the street and the city noise crashed over me. Horns, voices, sirens, ugly and loud and alive. It sat like protection. I called the cops later. They asked for his full name. I whisper that it didn't have it. The listing was under C, payments through an app, a blank, friendly face in a gray hoodie. 2 days later, I returned with officers. The apartment was empty. My room stripped bare like I'd never slept there. The vent cover screwed tight, dust wiped clean. Even the hallway bulb had been replaced. No buzz, just steady light. In the basement, the locker numbers were scraped off. The keyholes were filled with something like glue. The bin, the notebook, the photos, gone. One officer looked at me with our voices. "Maybe you got scammed," he said. Maybe. But some nights, when my place gets too quiet and the city fades, I swear I feel that hum again, like a machine running behind the walls. And I swear I can smell lemon cleaner, with something metallic underneath, like pennies, like teeth.